Hello everyone. Today we're going to be working on some needle felting. So we have some supplies that you're going to need, and you have to do some planning and figuring out how you're going to create your needle felting. The needle that we're going to be using looks like this, and it has some barbs in it, and it's made of a steel, but it's very breakable. So you have to be kind of careful when you're felting, and I'll show you some tips in a little bit. We're going to be using a foam block and then also some T-pins that look like this. And they're going to be, the T-pins will have in the end of your block, and then everyone is going to have their own needle. So you will be getting those in a little bit. All right, so I want to show you a few things that I've made already with my needle felting. I made a little frog ball, and a ball is a nice common shape to make, and then you can add extra details on it. Like I felted these eyeballs separately, and I put them onto the ball of green. And then I added some little arms and a belly, and then black to the eyes. So this is a project that is certainly something that you could do. Another thing I did is I started with a piece of felt, and I had it cut into a palette shape, and then I felted these colors right onto the felt background. And then I took a piece of yarn and I felted that in around the outside to get the outline of it. After I was done with that, I glued the paintbrush on, and I glued the paper backing on it to give it some support, and I put a clip on it so I could clip it to my hair if I wanted, or I could put it on my clothes or something like that. So that's another project that you're certainly capable of doing. I've also got a great Pinterest page that has a lot of needle felting ideas too. This is another way you can needle felt. You can use a piece of fabric or a piece of felt and create a drawing with your felt onto the background. So this is one I've been started and working on, and I'll show you a little bit about how to do that. And this one is pretty popular. This is my baby Yoda. I've been working on him for a while. I've got his ears separate, and then I have his head. And eventually I'm going to get him done so that he hopefully has a body and a little bit of sparkle in his eyes. So he is not quite finished yet. All right, so let's get started. Oh, and I almost forgot one more thing. You can make a little felted bookmark if you wanted to. We have some pre-cut pieces that look like this. All right, well, I'm going to start showing you how to make a ball shape and then how to attach things to it. And you can make so many different things. You can do some research and figure out what you'd like to make. But we're going to be starting with the wool roving. It's a very light color, and we want to get started making a ball shape. And sometimes roving is in long strands like this, sometimes it's in big clumps, and you don't want to try to really pull it. You have to really gently tug the tufts like this. And it may seem like you really need a lot of wool, but you really don't need that much. So I'm going to start out with this much. You can always add more if you want to. So I'm going to get my ball shape. So I'm going to lay it on my mat and kind of tuck it in, tuck and roll, and I'm putting my ends in, rolling, ends in, and rolling. And we want to be kind of careful because this needle is really sharp and you will probably poke yourself in your finger. So I like to use these T-pins just to act as almost like another finger or hand to hold it in place. So I'm going to put a couple of those in, and then all we do is we go in and out with the needle kind of fast like this. And we don't want to twist or bend the needle, especially once we have it in. You want to go straight in, straight out, straight in, straight out. And you just kind of felt, and what happens is the barbs are kind of twisting and grabbing the felt or the wool, and they are attaching it together. It's already starting to form a little ball. So keep turning it around and poking. You can also gently grab and pull with the end of your needle too, and that'll help you to shape it. This is really kind of relaxing and calming, I think, needle felting. All right, so I'm already starting to get a pretty good shape. I'm going to put my T-pin in again because I'm going to need to do felting this way and I don't want to poke my finger. If you do poke your finger, it's not the end of the world. You're going to be fine. I do have some alcohol pads and some Band-Aids on my desk for you, just in case. If you really, really love needle felting and you want to order supplies or purchase supplies on your own, you can get these little protectors that go over your finger and your thumb. They're either made of leather or silicone, and those are really nice. I don't really like them because, for me anyway, because I like to be able to feel the wool. Let's see what I'm doing. All right, it's getting better. And you just keep turning it. You may want to even kind of roll it in your palms. That'll help felt the fibers together, and it also helps to make the shape a little bit more round. And I'm going really fast. You guys are going to take your time and do much better job, but I'm just demonstrating. Okay, so that is going to be my basic shape, and I'm going to use some pink to go over the top of it. So think of this as kind of the core, and then we're going to take some of the pink and create the color wrapping over it. And that's how I made my frog too. So I'm just going to pull gently some tufts of the pink. And what you'll do then is lay the color over the top, and you just lightly felt it in. And if you want to cover the entire thing with pink, you can, or if you're going to do multiple colors, that's fine too. It's up to you and whatever project it is that you're making. Maybe you're making a pig or a cat or an emoji of some sort, or maybe you're just making a little creature from your imagination. That works too. And what I would do then is I would keep working and covering this entire shape with my color, and then if I want to add something like maybe an eye or a smile, I do have this other color of wool. I have this black, so I'm going to just roll it in my hands to make kind of a circle shape or a ball shape, and I'm going to lightly tack that in place so to make it like an eye. And there's my black shape. So I would make another one, of course, if I'm doing an eye. It might be a little character. You might want to even make like a little octopus or something. It is up to you. And I'm grabbing the edge and pulling it in so that my eyes are about the same size. And if they're not quite right, you can always poke more, or you can always add more black too. So there's my little eyes. And I'm obviously not done. I would need to cover the entire shape with my pink. But pretending that I'm done, maybe I want to add a little tuft of hair and make it into a funny little creature. I could do that. I would put that onto the back then and just felt it in. And as you go, you're going to find that there's lots of different ways to create your felting. All right, so there's my little tuft. It's kind of cute. Almost looks like a little strawberry or something. So I would keep going. Maybe I want to add a smile. I brought some other colors. You can look and see what might work the best. Or maybe I even want black again, but I'm thinking this purple's kind of fun. So I'm going to pull a little bit of that purple out. I'm going to roll it and make a nice line. And I'm going to tuck this in and make my smile. It's kind of funny. You can decide what it's going to look like.